Greetings again, everyone.
See, Lily, you're here!
I got you haven't forgot-
Of course not!
And I've prepared the rest.
Good work, kiddo. Then without further ado, let's get started. I give offerings from the mystic smoke, the gift of stars on a glory be to the ruler of death. Fade, fade, fade. Thrice.
Whoa! Is this one of her magic spells? This whole place suddenly got cold. What's happening?
Keep your voice down. We mustn't disturb her.
We, the children of the Priest King, swear to abide by the I am Seedlali. Hear my command.
Oh, look! Leela's spirit is back. It's coming towards his body.
I shall pierce the cloak of night with flintstone, and banish all souls that do not belong to the land of the dead. Leela, obey my command, and return to the land where the sun shines. Return to your own path.
Did it work?
Huh? Where am I? And who are you? Whoa! Granny Eatsley! I mean, High Priestess Seat Lolly! Please have mercy!
Aw, guilty conscience, huh? So, you know full well what you've done. Do you have any idea how close you were to never making it back?
I'm sorry, I messed up. And
Oh, you sure about that? Goodbye, Mom and Dad. I've realized I enjoy life as an empty shell so much that I've decided to get Granny Eatsley to turn me into a stone statue, so I can stand guard over her house for the next 100 years.
No, please. Please don't. I'm begging you. I'll never do this again, I promise. Thank you, High Priestess Seat Lolly. Thank you for rescuing me.
Don't thank me. Thank my grandson. If he hadn't sensed something was amiss, I wouldn't have bothered getting involved.
You're more than welcome, Leela. And don't mind Granny. She's all bark and no bite. We're just glad that you're okay. Besides, someone tricked you into doing this, didn't they? That Kokju guy. He's the real culprit here.
No, Mr. Kokachu had nothing to do with it. It was all my doing. Well, I mean, he suggested the method of using a powerful spirit relic as a medium. I'm sorry. I'm the one to blame.
The brainwashing.
So did Kokuchu provide the relic?
He did. He said it was a treasure related to the Mare Javari.
Right, so that proves it. He was using you. He coaxed you into doing the clairvoyance for him.
But I'm a spirit duffer who can't cast a single spell. What use would I be to him? Guys like me couldn't sense a spirit even if we spent the rest of our lives sitting and meditating. But Mr. Kokachu said that if I brute force the spell and immerse myself in a spiritually rich substance, I might be able to catch a glimpse of one. It seemed like my only option.
Still, brute forcing a spell when you're a spirit duffer is like forcing yourself to run a marathon.
I know, I'm sorry. It's just...
I totally understand how you feel, Leela. Some seeds effortlessly grow into beautiful cabbages. Well, who knows why this is the way things are. I know saying this doesn't change.
Let's pause this discussion for now.
Okay, looking good. Seems like this guy got off lightly. Just, make...
That's relief. I've heard of cases where people's bodies started necrotizing after they spent too long meditating.
What a horrifying thought!
Anyway, Leela, even though we didn't know each other before all this, I'm still really glad that you're okay now.
Well, maybe you don't know me, but I've heard all about you. The same goes for High Priestess Citlali, the Traveler, and Paimon. I've heard all the stories.
Huh? Even us?
This might sound corny, but you're exactly the kind of people I've always dreamed of becoming. But it's clear to me now. That was just wishful thinking. Honestly, why'd I have to be born a spirit duffer? Nah, it's alright, really. I'm used to being useless. Auroron, I think you're right. It's just a fact of life. I promise I won't take another risk like... It's okay. There's no need to comfort me.
Hey, you little rascal. What are you talking about? Look...
Huh? What's wrong, High Priestess Citlali?
I said, look at me. Take a good hard look. Sense anything strange?
Granny, what are you talking about?
What do you think, Traveler? Another case of happy to help written on someone's face?
Hold on. I think... either my mind's playing tricks on me, or her entire body is an illusion. No, it must just be my imagination. I wouldn't be able to see through something like that.
Wait, I know this trick. It's the same one I used a while back. Granny snuck away from right under our noses.
You see? You can perceive some spiritual abnormalities now. Congratulations.
Really?
But where are you going, Granny?
Where do you think? I'm going Someone triggered the trap I set in the cave. Looks like our friend Kokochu took the bait.
What?
Sorry, can't talk now. You'll find me in the cave. Don't believe it. He got away. Oh, this is terrible. Why'd I have to go and act so cocky about it? This Kokochu must be a realist.
Citlali, did you get him?
Given that she...
I thought I'd let him go, for now. But I left a mark on him. So, if he comes around here again, I'll be able to track it.
Oh, so Granny had only pretended to leave the cave, when in fact she'd set up a whole trap for him and was lying in wait.
Ah, so just like how you caught Auroron! But how did you know Kokochu would come here?
Because I planted the bait here. The Mare Javari map and the bow shard. Left them both on the table. I had a feeling those were what he was truly after. And sure enough, my trap was triggered just moments after we left.
So you really did set up traps here after all, huh?
Of course. It's just that they'd never do anything to either of you.
See? What did I tell you?
So, Mr. Kokochu, you used me after all. This whole time, all you wanted was to find the location of the Mare Javari.
That's right. I've been wondering about the shard he left ever since I came across it. Why did he leave it there? The moment I confirmed the Mare Javari's location, that's when I realized. It was bait. He was counting on Leela's spirit getting lost, and the tribe coming to his rescue. Then, by helping Leela, we'd be helping him.
Oh, so he was fishing too! It was all a ploy to lure in an actual clairvoyant who could look into the shard for him.
Yep. And somebody fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
I'm sorry. I took the bait. But so did Granny.
Ugh, the nerve! I only got involved because of you, you little scamp!
Either way, Kokchu played us like a fiddle. Huh. He managed to accomplish his goals without taking any of the risk himself. Pretty sneaky.
You could say that again! Imagine if he tried to approach Seat Lolly directly. She'd have seen through it right away! Although, actually, Seat Lolly, why did you let him go?
Because I couldn't risk using my full abilities here. He was a pretty slippery character, and if I'd kept him here by force, there could have been unintended consequences.
Was it my fault for picking a bad place? I'm sorry. I went looking for somewhere with a wealth of spiritual energy when I first decided to help Leela, and ended up choosing this mad sage's hideout.
Mad Sage?
Yeah, he's napping right behind that wall. We'd have a whole new situation on our hands if we woke him up. That's why I decided against using my full abilities. I do have some good news, though. I snatched the shard and map back before he bolted, so I may have restrained myself, but I certainly didn't let him walk all over me.
That's great! So he left empty-handed!
Yes, sort of. The bad news is, he did get a look at the map before he left. Not that the Mayor Javari's last known location is a huge secret, but still.
Yeah, that's kind of worrying. What if he's got some sort of diabolical plan?
Don't worry. I'll keep tracking him. Also, Leela, if it's all the same to you, I'd like to give the shard and map to the Traveler as a gift. They might prove useful at some point in his journey.
Absolutely. That's completely fine. The Traveler deserves it.
None of us are interested in them. And if there's any chance of them leading you to the Mayor Javari, I'm sure an adventurer like you wouldn't want to pass on that opportunity. Granny Eatsley has a sense for these things.
So, Granny Eatsley? Do you think I'm still a spirit duffer?
What kind of a dumb question is that? You saw through my illusion, didn't you? I mean, that's partly because I deliberately made it imperfect, but even then, a spirit duffer wouldn't be able to see through that. Auroron, give this guy some lessons when you've got the time. Leela, put in the work, and we'll—
Amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Thank you for
I know full well that violence isn't always the answer. But in many cases, having...
Time to act.
Ha! Locked on! Open fire! Bullseye!
Witness the power of Guwa.
Bullseye! Bullseye! Dividing the loot is often a cause of conflict, but luckily for you, I don't really need this stuff.
Eat this!
Get with me. I'll settle this.
Open fire! Dividing the loot is often a cause of conflict, but luckily for you, I don't really need this stuff. makes a lot of problems go away. So you can never have too much Mora, huh?
Paimon's trying to remember. What else did we put on our shopping list? Oh, what a mouth-watering smell. Paimon would know the aroma of biryani anywhere. Let's go get some. We can...
Well, if it isn't the Traveler and Paimon.
Hello there. Oh, it's been quite a while.
Huh.
The Holmayanis also still post jobs from time to time. Their pay is always generous.
I told Dia to just stay at our place when she took one of those jobs a few days ago. My parents were delighted. They even said that it always felt like
taken care of, so I was gonna head back to the brigade as soon as I finished a little shopping. But the
you can stay for...
You know I'm not the kind of person to stay put in one place like that, my lady.
What? She said they'll treat you to the best dishes! Paimon...
But wait. Didn't you say last time that you would take me on a trip to the desert? Why don't you just take me with you today, when you leave? There are so many places I still haven't visited yet.
I'm sorry, my lady, but no can do. There's still a few things I need to take care of back at the brigade. Besides, the desert hasn't exactly been the most peaceful place lately.
Oh, come on. Not this again. That's also what you said last time and the time before that.
I know, I'm sorry. Just give me some more time, and I promise I'll plan the best trip ever for you.
Alright, fine. To be perfectly honest, it's not that I wanted to. Ever since you first set foot on the estate a few days ago, you've been acting anxious and even paranoid. Have you been delaying our trip because you've run into some kind of trouble?
Nah, are you kidding? You're worrying too much.
Would you swear on that? Friends shouldn't lie to each other, you know. I wouldn't pry any further if you're willing to swear on what you just said. But if something really is bothering you, then just tell me. You know I'll help you however I can.
Oh, looks like Junior's was onto something.
You're too perceptive, my lady. Seems I can't hide anything from you. I just thought that nothing good could come out of telling you about the messy happenings of mercenaries. Knowing too much only leads to more trouble. Mercenary life is a dog-eat-dog world where Mora reigns supreme. Everything operates on a completely different set of rules.
That doesn't change anything about what I just said, though. We're still friends, and I can only support you if I understand what's bothering you.
My lady... You're not gonna stop until you drag it out of me, are ya? Alright, I'll share what I know. Let's go somewhere else first. This isn't exactly the best place for a discussion. Okay, let's talk here. Just try not to draw any extra attention. As you may already know, the Eremites have both a lot of mercenaries and a complex organizational structure. Many mercs are no different than me, just going around looking for jobs to earn some mora. My brigade is called the Blazing Beasts. We're not a large group, but every member is loyal and brave. However, not all Eremite brigades are like mine.
Deshret's relics? Judging from the name, they must really look up to...
Yep,
Oh, you mean the group
Deshret's relics on any...
Dakan?
I think it means... Anyway, the real...
Say what?
I think I'm starting to understand your anxiety now.
I won't go into details, my lady, but they've been involved in...
Hundreds?
Yep. The scenes tend to be quite gruesome, too. Not only have they targeted merchant caravans...
That's beyond terrible.
I don't know how Deshret's relic sees it. All I do know is that Dakan al-Akmar has become more and more aggressive over the last few years. If I don't do something about them, then even my brigade or the people of Aru village could become their next target. I just wish I knew what's driven him to do this.
Yeah. How can your father do such terrible...
I don't know. People change. He's always been pretty pathetic. But at least in the past, there were still a few lines that he wouldn't cross.
That's setting the bar pretty low.
I mean, if he was even remotely decent, then why would I have to leave the brigade and cut all ties with him? He was loud and foolish, with no real sense of purpose. Instead of doing anything useful, he spent most of his time drinking and chasing after women. Of course, the other brigade members were just like him. Their ruckus would go on night after night.
Sounds like a nightmare.
What about your mother? Did she ever step in to stop them?
Unfortunately, I never knew my mother.
I'm sorry, Dia. I didn't know.
It's all right, my lady. That's pretty common in mercenary circles. Didn't I mention that my father was chasing after women? I was the result of one of those encounters with some random person. He told me that he wasn't sure who my mother was. And in any case, she never came to see me. He'd say, "You'll be fine as long as you remember to stick with Dad." But even then, he left most of the parenting to the brigade. The one thing I do remember is that he used to tell me stories. But the problem was that he had terrible taste. He only knew a few stories, and even those tended to be pretty stale. They were tales of desert warriors defeating dragons in the forest, or stories of mercenaries rescuing princesses from rebel armies.
Sounds like your typical fairy tales.
More or less, yeah. He seemed to think even the toys he gave, it was only much...
What an interesting guy.
Yeah, I've always found him pretty childish. But that was something I could just shrug off. Until I grew up, and learn the true face of Deshret's relics for myself. Looting, blackmail, violence, and fraud. They not only accepted such heinous acts, no one in the brigade was. Did they really think that as long as they didn't do any of that stuff right in front of me, I would never know?
I think I can understand your feelings. The difference between perception and reality must have hit hard.
Yeah, but don't worry, my lady. It's all water under the bridge to me now. I had a huge argument with my father and left that place behind for good. I'm not investigating them due to any bitter feelings I still have towards my father. I just want to protect those that are close to me. Yeah.
I see.
It is, but
That may be true.
well, now you get why I didn't want to share any of this with you.
What should we do?
Huh? But there's no need.
Well, he's super tough.
I'm inclined to agree. I'll wait for news from you in this.
I'm alright, then let's get.
Hello and welcome, everyone. I swear to... I ask for both parties to stand. May the Dendro Archon...
Since you may have misunderstood. However, therefore, we have failed. In other words, Zubair Theater would not.
Aggressive from the get-go. He's really putting on the pressure. Can Nilu stand her ground?
Calm down, Nilu. First, he said that we were shut down. The most important thing about an experience. Hinaya really wants to win. Hinaya really. The theater carries everyone's feelings. Don't think that would make. In your eyes, our shows can't meet the academia's expectations. Shouldn't it be the audience who decides if a show is intellectual or enlightening? Why is someone from the academia judging that? Also, I believe that there is no such thing as a wiser or more enlightening performance. Art doesn't discriminate.
Appreciation. This stance, if all performance, nurturing the pop.
He changed the top. If I remember correctly, the most important thing about an experience. Mr. Zubair has been meticulously managing the theater. No. Can't do that. Someone at our theater has tried that before. He was a famed artist, but he recognized that very few people could connect with his works. I agree that art should be enlightening, but if a work can't tap into an audience's personal experiences or feelings, what's the point of performing a show that its audience can't even follow? That would only be forcing people to watch something they don't like.
You can only reach that conclusion from a
In that case, before passing judgment, you should first become a better dancer than me.
You tell them, Nilu.
Looks like he's backed himself into a corner.
As the party holding the burden of proof, Sharif has failed to provide sufficient support for his judgment of the quality of Zubair Theater's programs. Likewise, the definition that Nilu put forth is but her personal opinion. Neither party is the victor for this particular point of contention. Additionally, I must request that both parties exercise greater control on their emotions.
Keep it up, Nilu! You're doing great!
In that case, I shall speak of more concrete matters. The essence of this issue is that you have violated the law, so you must now pay the price for your transgression. This course of action is also completely However, you have consciously ignored our warnings.
That is indeed so, according to the...
He started talking about procedural stuff, so
Art must first be appreciated by others.
Everyone is free to appreciate art. I need to rethink things. This is a crucial... Everyone is free to appreciate... Naya really wants to win. The theater carries everyone's feelings. I need to rethink things. This is a... I need to rethink things. This is a Mr. Zubair has already provided signed copies of all documentation related to our operations. Everything is perfectly filled out and valid. Although the theater's performances don't align with the Academia's requests, the law doesn't say that Zubair Theater can be demolished only because of that reason. Demolition notices need to be provided in writing and made available to the public. Otherwise, the theater can continue to operate as long as its license is valid. Failing to follow these rules makes your stance procedurally unsound.
Yeah!
That's right!
There are different ways to apply the rules. There is precedent for this. So long as this matter is discussed within the Academia, this course of action will come to pass.
Looking at the past 27 cases of similar nature, 90% of them support Sharif's claim and position. However, the demolition process in those cases was only started after discussion at the Academia. In other words, premature notice of demolition is indeed a rash act.
That's more than enough. We've proven that the order is unreasonable as it currently stands.
Cease your futile resistance.
Nilu's definitely won this point, right? You're right. Stay focused, Nilu.
Even if permission for demolition has yet to be obtained, it is a fact that your performances violated the Academia's policies on numerous occasions. Based on that fact, we can permanently revoke your right to perform in Sumeru.
Under the current system, it is indeed possible to immediately revoke Zubair Theater's performing rights.
That's a thing?
Rather than protecting Zubair Theater, I surmise that your true intention is to maintain your hold over your audience and their patronage as your source of income. Without them, Zubair Theater is nothing more than an empty building. And without its performances, the theater has nothing else of value.
What you said isn't true at all.
Keep it cool, Nilu!
Right. I need to keep calm, but he... Just a little more. Zubair Theater isn't just a performance venue to us.
Art must first be
No. No. Zubair... No. Everyone is free to No. Zubair Theater isn't simply a performance venue to us. It means more than that. It's been our home for a long time. Miss Raykar can't go on adventures anymore, but she has found a stable career and a new life at the theater. Her son, Sorin, has already passed his theater exam, and he'll soon be our newest member. Mr. Kasani found a new way to look at art. He decided to stay at the theater to watch us grow. Mr. Farhad and Mr. Hushang visit even when there isn't a show going on, and they always tell us lots of entertaining stories. Even Inaya wants to stay with us, and she's starting to look forward to a new future. Zubair Theater exists for them. For every single one of
emotions and experiences. However, you have misconstrued something, young miss. The interpersonal relationships you speak of were established upon normal theater operations. Sheikh Zubair operates the theater for his livelihood. His employees work for their wages, and the audience comes to enjoy performances. Relationships are merely a byproduct in this exchange of interests. They may be pleasant and captivating, but they can only ever be secondary. When scholars collaborate to solve difficult problems, we freely share our knowledge and resources with one another as if we were all kin. However, this collaboration ends after the results of our work are published. The reason is simple. We are scholars, and there are new projects that await our attention.
He really doesn't think much of relationships. Paimon also thinks he did a lot of prep. He's been solid as a rock.
Sharif's argument is currently the more persuasive of the two for this point of contention. The continuance of the interpersonal relationships Nilu spoke of remains hypothetical before the theater's demolition, whereas the situation that Sharif described has been well documented at the Academia. The Academia has made significant academic contributions, in no small part due to its researchers' efficiency and ability to compartmentalize.
Oh no, what should we do? Things are going in the opposite. A setup? So Nilu's got him?
Good. He said what he said. The next argument could decide this debate. But is this really the best thing to do? It might be too cruel to Inaya. She already agreed to this. She wants to win, no matter what. Me too. Mr. Sharif believes that interpersonal relationships are a byproduct of working towards a goal. Once that goal is achieved or abandoned, those relationships would have no more reason to continue. Then, if someone has failed to live up to his expectations...
If someone has failed to live up to your expectations and ran away from home, then she shouldn't be your daughter anymore. Right?
Inaya...
Sorry, Nilu. As expected, I should be the one to say it. You don't need to shoulder this responsibility for me. If in your eyes, the purpose of my existence is to become your academic successor, then that goal has ended in complete failure. By your logic, that means there is no more reason to sustain our relationship as father and daughter.
Members of the audience who do not belong to either debate party, please speak with caution.
Let her speak. What she does not say, Nilu will.
No matter how many disagreements we've had, the truth is that you are still my father. You're so immersed in your own world, you can't understand why we come together for the sake of relationships.
Yeah, don't look down on us.
You can watch a dance anywhere, but there's only one Zubair Theater.
I'm almost starting to feel sorry for this guy, what with the idiotic things he said.
Order! Order! Members of the audience, do not interrupt debate proceedings.
I confess that this is the final argument we had prepared. Disown me, and you will. But before that, Father, I have some final words to say. I've been doing some soul searching. Not about whether I should have run away from home, but whether there was any point to my personal rebellion against you. I kept trying to earn your approval, but I only disappointed you over and over. The truth is, I ran away from home as a means to vent my recurring frustrations. That is to say, I was exerting pressure on you, and hoping you'd give up on your lofty expectations. But by doing that, wasn't I just doing the same thing as you? I won't force my expectations upon you anymore. At Zubair Theater, I have found the life I've always wanted. I will move on from my family troubles, but if you...
This is not the time.
You already...
You should be asking...
Of course, Miss Inaya is a...
It was a bit of a...
Make no mistake, all those who come to Zubair Theater become one of us. We will always be with her.
Such puerile simplicity. However... it is surprisingly a relief.
Wait, what are you... never mind.
They left? Does that mean we've won?
We won?
Nilu, you're amazing!
I relaxed for... It looks like you still...
Terrific work!
Didn't know you could...
this...
Both Miss Nilu, should we throw it?
During the debate, that's a good...
Nilu...
Oh, it's you. Yes, I don't think I could repeat what I did a second. Yes, and it's all thanks to you. I see. Then I'll have to tell you about my teacher. Mr. Zubair opened his theater when I was still a child. There was a I thought to myself. But later on, she would actually smile down. Yeah, it is a beautiful... In other words, she wasn't looking for flowers and applause. All she wanted was... Right! The same as what Mr. I was completely moved by what she had said. Before she retired. This is why Mr. Zubair and I never intended... Even though it ended up causing everyone... Although, I did... Yeah. Before he left, he probably has a lot of things he wants to say. But... Yeah. You and Paimon are more than welcome to... Who knows?
Are you still worried about Inaya? Let's be sure to...
Everyone, I'd like to introduce you to our newest...
hello, everyone.
She'll be dancing for us from now on. So please, give her your support.
Inaya's taken her place on the stage! Oh, Paimon wonders how she'll look when she starts dancing. When you stop and think about it, happy endings like this sure aren't easy to come by. Nilu's efforts, everyone's wisdom, Inaya's determination? Huh? What do you mean by that? You do have a point there. The whole demolition thing was going overboard, but he really could have banned Nilu and the others from dancing. If he really wanted to be ruthless, he could have done some real damage, even without winning the debate. Oh well. It's not like we can understand how people like him think. Let's focus on watching the performance. Huh? Wait. Look who the cat dragged in! Isn't that Inaya's father?
Oh, it's you two. I don't have much to do today, so I just came to look around this place.
Are you looking for Inaya?
No, I am simply here to watch a performance. There is no need to trouble her. Well, I was for a time. My loss at the debate caused quite the loss of face for the academia, so there was a period of unrest. I used this opportunity to suggest that my superiors temporarily suspend me from duty. Otherwise, the rumors would probably persist for even longer.
Suspended from duty?
Yes, I am temporarily unemployed. However, I now have an abundance of time, so I can afford to come here and watch a show. I admit that I do not understand the magic that this theater possesses, but my curiosity has been piqued. I still cannot forget that young lady's perseverance. Inaya would almost certainly mature in the presence of such a person. There are no parents who do not worry about their children. I suppose she managed to hit a weak spot of mine. Never mind. I do not have the right to say that.
You're already here, so you might as well go see her.
No, that is not necessary. I will take my leave after the show concludes. Do not tell her that I was here.
Come on. Who knows if you'll get a chance like this again?
But...
Huh?
You said you were going to make peace with your past. Show your father how much you've grown. Don't be nervous. Everyone at Zubair Theater has your back. Hey, let's go somewhere else. We should give them some space.
You sure they'll be okay?
I don't know, but I think we should have faith in them.
Yes, Inaya. I have something for you. I'm still learning. It's hardly a masterpiece, but it's yours, if you'll take it.
Huh?
You don't have to take it. It's fine. Never mind.
Let's have a heart-to-heart, Father.
Like father, like daughter. They're both so awkward with their...
Yeah. She probably would have snuck away as well if I didn't drag her back.
Do you think they'll be able to reconcile?
I'm not sure. A complete reconciliation may also not be the best thing for them right now. All those years of arguments and misunderstandings can't be settled overnight. It might be best if they continue to keep some distance for now. But no matter where their hearts and bodies may be, they will always be family. All I wish for them is to be able to one day tap into the warmth of that bond. Oh, by the way, everyone's really thankful to you for helping out with the debate. So, we made you a little something. Hope you'll like it.
Isn't this Zubair Theater? Whoa! This is amazing! It's so detailed!
We've also... Mr. Zubair and Mr. Kasani took charge of the design, while Inaya and I made all the little pieces with the help of others. Miss Reikar and Miss Nadia made and assembled this. As adventurers, you two will doubtlessly travel to many more lands. That's why we hope that your time at Zubair Theater will become a fond memory of your journey. You two are welcome back anytime.
We'll come back and watch you dance whenever we get the chance.
You're welcome. And there's no need to be so polite. You learned fast. Come on, take it. This is the story of you and me. It's a tale that I'll never, ever forget.
lost myself long ago.
Hey, Dia, you're back. Are these two friends of yours? Anyway, since they've become extremely... They even attack...
Even the most ferocious beasts still...
That's right. A portion of their profit.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and a few days ago, rather than saying they're out to...
Wait,
You heard me right. If their only goal was Mora, they could have gone after anybody. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find out anything more specific. It seems they're also... Oh, one last thing we discovered was that over...
It sounds mighty strange to me, too. Harun, gotta say, though, I didn't expect you to go on a whole undercover mission during the few days I was gone. Sounds like you were really putting your necks on the line, no?
Nah, it was nothing. We're just as concerned about the situation as you are. The Khan al-Ahmar is your father's crew, after all.
What he said. Besides, Dia, haven't you done more dangerous things than all of us combined? What we did is nothing compared to your experiences.
Yeah. And while they went to talk with Takan al-Akmar, I took a look at the last camp they attacked. Any survivors of the attack were already long gone. There was nothing of value left in the camp.
Ah, Hisham and Khalaf. You're here too.
We rushed over as soon as we saw you come into Caravan Ribat. Although this new friend of yours looks a little green behind the ears, I'm sensing a special vibe from him. Now that we know you'll have a capable partner with you, we can also rest easy.
Hey, what about Paimon? Feel anything special?
Oh, you're also planning to tag along with them?
Of course! Paimon is the traveler's most important guide. Wherever he goes, Paimon will follow.
Oh, in that case, then you'd better take care of her too, Dia.
Don't underestimate Paimon!
Don't worry about her. She may look tiny and helpless, but she's been through just as many battles as the traveler here. Even if she had only survived on sheer luck, then that alone would still make her quite formidable.
I had no idea. I guess I shouldn't judge by appearances.
Oh, one other thing, Dia. When you're free, why don't you update the deputy about your upcoming schedule? We held another recruitment event a few days ago, but everyone only came to see the Flame Main. You weren't around at the time, so people were pretty disappointed to only find our crew of rough, unkempt guys. The deputy put a lot of effort into the event, but it was basically for nothing. Only a few people chose to stay, and that really got to him.
Sorry to hear that. I'll be sure to bring him some great liquor next time. I left in a hurry, and I couldn't make it back in time for the event.
Gotta admit, I can understand their disappointment, though. You're our brigade's main selling point, after all. Now, if only the deputy could figure out a way to bring a few more smoking hot members into our ranks.
Keep dreaming. Remember the last time I invited a couple gals into the brigade? You all just froze up with your mouths gaping like a bunch of scarecrows. The awkward silence and weird expressions left quite the impression on them. They were originally interested in joining us, but after that, they both told me they were too uncomfortable to stick around.
Hey, didn't we agree to never bring that up again?
Huh? Wait, are you serious? Why have I never heard about this?
I don't think you were part of the brigade yet.
Are you kidding me? I missed a once-in-a-lifetime moment like that and you weren't even gonna tell me?
All right. We can tell you about it later. Now's not the time.
Hey, don't you try to change the subject. You and Hisham get your butts over here and tell me everything right now.
Are they always like this?
More or less. There aren't many rules or graces when it comes to mercenaries. We're used to just speaking our minds. If someone starts getting under your skin, you just yell right back at them. And if that doesn't put an end to it, then you just challenge them to a fight. But we also don't tend to take many things too seriously. Being direct and getting it all out of your system as soon as things come up is better than keeping everything bottled up, never talking about it. That's also why I never spare their feelings when I talk to them. If I want to laugh, I'll laugh. If I'm angry, then I'll unload on them. It's hard to stop once you get used to it. Though, I can never do that when I'm with the Homayanis. Hey, knuckleheads! Can you at least tell me the rest of the intel before you go back to your bickering?
Yeah, you hear her, Holof? Told you we gotta focus on the investigation first. I drew up a map. Right here's the spot. There you'll find the Oh, you got it?
Perfect. Thanks for that. Be sure to pass my...
Will do. You stay safe, Dia.
So he's not at the hotel today?
Travelers and visitors, don't miss out!
I really wouldn't recommend going there. So he's not.
Travelers and visitors, don't miss out!
I'm a little out of practice these days. Any conflicts around? I'm in the mood for some peacemaking.
Travelers and visitors, don't miss out! Travelers and visitors, don't miss out!
I'd have lost myself long ago if I allowed myself to be led by the whispers of the abyss. Surviving is tough, but taming the beast within is tougher.
Travelers and visitors, don't miss out!
This should be the place. Let's find a spot to hide and bide our time. It's gonna come down to a fight one way or another.
No need to worry.
Here they come. You ready? Let's not give them a chance to react. And
That's close
put it
enough.
on! Yeah.
Open fire!
Huh? You're the Flame Mane.
Good. That saves me an introduction. All right, time for a little talk. Are you buddy?
You know the code of being a mercenary just like everyone else. The first rule is to never divulge.
That might have worked on an amateur, but I know you're just looking to protect your reputation. Think about it, though. What's your reputation worth if you won't have the other tools you need to succeed in this? You've got 5 seconds. You might want to think twice about how much your employer's information is worth to you.
Whoa!
I'm not joking around. We can do this the easy way or the painful way. 2 seconds!
I'll save you the trouble.
Huh? Are you crazy? He tried to bite off his own tongue. Quick. I definitely didn't expect him to go that far.
But what?
I didn't expect him.
Well,
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be a waste of time. There are lots of... I'm really...
we found a piece of paper with a bunch of names on it.
Let me take a look. If this really is... Yep. I see an entry for Dakana Lakmar right here. Kusela, Idrisi, Bashar, and Takriti. All familiar names. Dakana Lakmar... This caravan is... That person will then pack the caravan full of necessary goods, which will then be brought right back to Dakana Lakmar. Wait, why is there no Mora value required?
No?
Yeah. Every transaction before the last one was marked with an exact amount of Mora, but the final one, where they paid for everything to be brought back to the desert, was simply marked as delivered. Perhaps. But they couldn't have known how much they would make off selling the loot. Do they not care? Anyway, the next part... Huh?
What's wrong?
Shazaman Homayani?
Homayani? You mean Dunyarzad's
I'd be surprised to find someone with the exact same first and last name. Just what the heck is going on here? I'm sorry, you're right. I'll consider what but what this piece of paper confirms is that...
What if the Homayanis have been kept in the dark and don't know they've been...
That's a possibility, but if that was the case, they could have just as easily bought goods such as food... Yeah.
But...
I've been to their estate many times, and I've never noticed it. The only potential... But that's still just a speculation. You're probably right. I know my lady's personality, and she...
But... what should we do...
If you ask me, I'm not worried. Let's go find my lady. If we're lucky, we can not only figure out the mystery of this paper, but also follow the trail of breadcrumbs to the people responsible at Dakana Lakmar.
sure this is the best decision? What if instead of getting the help we need, we just end up revealing everything we've discovered to the enemy?
I've considered that possibility. But even still, she showed genuine concern for me when we first brought up. That's not how I deal with people.
You're right. Paimon wants to trust Dunyarzad too.
Yeah. we're back, my lady.
Oh, you're back a lot sooner than...
Actually,
I see.
Something like that. Yeah.
You all look a little Why don't you discuss it with me?
It's okay, my lady.
So something is... On any other day, Paimon would...
Well?
My lady, please prepare yourself for what we're going to tell you next. It concerns the Master.
The Master? You mean my father? Okay, I understand. Don't worry about me. I'll listen as attentively as I can. My father has been supplying goods to Dagan al-Akmar?
Yeah, it makes as little sense to us as it does to you. I've never doubted the Master's integrity, so I'm having a real hard time rationalizing how he could ever support an infamous brigade like them. Maybe he's not actually aware of the full story and just stumbled into the deal by accident.
I can't help but agree with the Traveler.
Huh? You mean you feel the same way, Dunyarzad?
Thank you for sharing all this information with me. Since you've told me everything you know, I should also tell you about some doubts that I've been harboring for quite a while. In the past, I thought that my father hired a bodyguard for me so that I wouldn't run away and get lost. However, there are plenty of capable mercenaries in the Corps of 30. Why did my father go out of his way to hire Dia?
About that. Well, the Homayanis really needed bodyguards, so they reached out to the Blazing Beasts. Later, the Master told me that I was one of the best mercenaries he'd ever seen, and that I should stick around to become one of his bodyguards. He offered me a pile of mora, so I just signed on.
Well, but that didn't really answer my question. Just think about it. Why did my father specifically reach out to the Blazing Beasts?
Maybe the Corps of 30 just didn't have anyone available, or maybe someone recommended us. I've never given it too much thought. I think I get what you're saying. You'd think none of this was a coincidence.
Precisely. At first glance, if my father...
You mean the goal all along?
No.
But that still doesn't...
So, the Master was...
Sorry we put all...
It's okay, Paimon. Regardless of his reasons, if my father...
But is that really the... My father has committed many atrocities and deserves all the punishment that he has coming. However, the Homayani family is... If we decide to investigate this further...
Dia...
It's alright, Dia. If...
You don't have to do that.
Hey! It's still too early to give up hope! What was that thing about friendship again? Right, yeah! Besides, there's no point on getting...
Thank you, everyone. That makes a lot of sense. I guess I should always remember the trust. In which case, my late...
Sure thing.
Usual place? Nice and spicy! Stick with me!
Thank you for coming, sir. Please allow me to introduce these two. This is the Traveler.
Ah, yes. My daughter has mentioned them from time to time. It's a privilege to finally meet them in person. But we may skip all the pleasantry.
Well, we wanted to bring this
So that's what you found? Huh.
If you wouldn't mind, we'd like it.
Well, it's a long and difficult story. And to be perfectly... What I do know, though, Dia, is that the truth...
Wait.
Yes, but knowledge always comes at a price. And sometimes, as they say, ignorance. Your father, Kusela, and... Of course, you have the right to... The facts of this matter, if you must proceed, then Kusela's heartfelt...
His heart? I've made it this far. I have my own idea. I came here today.
Our family once needed to take... They had superior numbers, and those Eremites were Kusela's men told... Kusela was grinning and walked over to play with Babe.
Really?
He said that he had no... We started talking to repay.
So, that's what happened.
It was many years before I saw him again. The man I knew...
So, what happened to him?
I'm not too sure myself. He then suddenly at the time, but he kept coming back to the topic. Come on, I was completely lost at first, until he recommended the Blazing Beasts, and in particular, a mercenary named Dia.
So he was the one who recommended Dia.
Indeed. He didn't say it out loud. He was already beyond redemption, but he hoped that he would be able to detach his daughter from the vicious world of mercenary life. If Dia could stay in my house...
And that's why you offered her such generous compensation?
Yes, but not just because of that. From the moment that he asked me for that favor, I also began to see Dia as my own daughter. And that's also why I tried to persuade you to stay when you... Kusela saved my daughter and...
He was always...
Kusela said that he'd reimburse me for a portion of Dia's... Eventually, I just... The letter contained...
Wait!
That's right. No, but by then, he was no longer receptive to my requests to talk. If I had to guess, it's probably because that thought occurred. After some deliberation, I decided to send him some food and medicine. I turned down all his requests for I am aware that in the end...
If you can, please... None of the things... If all he wants to do...
Oh no, Dia...
I'm just angry because I can't wrap my head around it another way. But I guess you do have a point. We haven't uncovered the whole truth yet. We still need to figure out his exact actions and
I'll do my best to help. Of course, I don't know Kusela. However, he's responsible. I've heard.
Understood.
I'll stay and be with my father. My father has indeed done something. I feel like...
Yes. It's time to...